This week on Business Mike, the business of healthy food. My guest today is Belema Alagun. She's the founder and CEO of Britts Foods, a stop shop for healthy and delicious food in Nigeria. In this episode, Belema shares a few lessons she's learned as an entrepreneur, including what's required before starting a business and the importance of hiring the right people. All this and more next on Business Mike.
You're listening to the Business Mike podcast, amazing interviews with inspiring entrepreneurs. For more amazing interviews, go to www.businessmike.com or download our podcast every Monday from Pod Africa.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Business Mike. My name is Daudi Mugabi and joining me today is Belema. Could you please tell the listeners about yourself and what you do?
So my name is Belema Alagun. I have a legal background and I currently own the best salad food store in Lagos. I will make healthy living products from salads to sandwiches to smoothies for delivery at your doorstep, wherever you are.
Right. And what prompted you to start this business? Was it one of those whereby you saw a gap in the market and you took it on, or did it come from a challenge you were facing yourself?
So it came primarily from a challenge I was facing in that I got back to Nigeria and I was trying very hard to maintain the same or similar lifestyle as I had in England, where, you know, vegetables and healthy food products were easily accessible. And so in order to sort of maintain the same lifestyle, I would have to go to supermarkets to pick up things. And most of the time I found that there weren't much healthy food options for you. So you could either only pick up packaged, processed items, and it really worried me. So, I decided to take the leap of faith and just start it off and realized that a lot of people were actually interested in living healthy, but just didn't know how to go about it. So that's how Britts Foods came along. If
I look at Africa versus, say, Europe, in Africa we have readily available vegetables and fruits because obviously we have fertile soils here. So with a business like yours, don't you have a challenge of you're offering a service, but any average person could, just go to the market and find that stuff anyway. So how do you carve a niche whereby what you're offering is something that isn't easily made by someone from their home?
I think that's a very good question. I mean, I don't think I'm the first person to start a salad or healthy food product, and I don't think I would be the last. I think what makes Britts Foods stand out is the fact that we're actually passionate about maintaining quality and maintaining premium. And I think our customers know that and spot that with us and are loyal not just because we sell salads, but because they're loyal to the brand. So I think what would make us stand out long term would be the fact that we keep to our promise of actually delivering quality all the time to our customers, irrespective of wherever they are, and just maintaining that. But as I said, vegetables are so sensitive, and I wasn't the first person to start it. However, I've been able to acquire a relatively good amount of the Nigerian health market, and I think that shows somewhat that we're just not an average salad making company.
Right. And obviously earlier you mentioned that you deliver as well. So how far can you deliver within Nigeria? Because the stuff you're providing basically has a limited time span in terms of being fresh. So how far do you go?
So our business model is not just to focus on just delivery. Our business model is to actually establish, stores in different areas. So right now we have I was making it initially from my house. We've gotten our first store in Lekki, which is on the island, and our focus right now is to serve customers as best as possible on the island. And when we feel we have covered this market well enough, we will progress to other aspects of the state as well as other aspects of the country, and hopefully cover some other aspects of Africa.
Right. Now, I noticed on your website that you have different can I say, payment options for clients. So there's one that's really cheap, one that's medium, and then one that's premium. How did you come up with that model? Did you initially start with just one price and then realize that there are different people who want the salad at different prices, or was it something that you had to iterate time and again? So basically you knew from the word go that you'd have a premium, a medium, and a low end.
Yeah, so essentially we're trying to capture meet different customers' needs as best as we can. Initially, when we started the plan, we did and we still do personalized options. So the idea is to make healthy lifestyle fun and easy. So if, for example, I as a Nigerian, really really love lettuce and tomatoes, or onions or any other sort of vegetables in my salad, then I should be able to pay for that and get just that, right? So that was sort of how we started. But as the obviously everything's experience, as we got to know our customers more and we got to understand the market more, we realized that there's some customers who just would rather not go through the hassle of picking everything, and who just really want to have a plan and just stick to it. So you tell me what I should do to just lose this weight and I'll do it. And so that's how we thought of, of the plan, and actually creating a plan, which we put on our website. Initially, there was no plan on our website. Then the next question was, how do we ensure that in creating the plan that we capture the different, customers' needs, based on the ones that we had, and realized that there were some customers who really don't, just want to eat healthy and are very price conscious, and I want to really eat healthy on a budget. And there are certain customers who want to splurge and, understand that, healthy lifestyle, is mostly expensive and don't really mind paying that price. And then there are certain customers who just really want to do a really, really quick crash diet and let me just lose this weight within 1-2 weeks. And then I go back to just eating normally. So we tried to, as much as possible, to create plans which targeted those three markets, which is why you have the, silver plan, the gold plan, and then the crash diet plan. And then as we grew, we realized that there's some customers who don't want to eat salads all the time, and who want to eat a mixture of salads and hot meals and and smoothies. And so we created the mixed plan. So I think the different plans have been created based on experience and based on us actually just trying as much as possible to suit customers' needs, as much as we can. But all customers with Britts Foods still have the benefits of customizing their products. So if anyone don't want anything, they can always, even on those plans, tell us, okay, I know you have bacon on this day, but I'd rather swap bacon with fish.
Right. And when it comes to the supply on your side of the fruits and vegetables, because you have a menu that has, bacon or lettuce and so on, you need to have a constant supply of that. Otherwise, a customer might order something and you've run out. So how do you ensure that you always have a fresh supply of the fruits and vegetables?
We liaise directly with farmers. So we have a good working relationship with, rural farmers and rural third parties who source certain products that don't really go in Lagos from other aspects of the country. And so when we get the products, we do it sort of on a bulk basis and ensure that we use as much as possible. It's a very tricky one because, some weeks, you might encounter waste, and in some weeks you can, run out of things even before the week is over. So but that's one of the fun part of the business. You're constantly on your tiptoe.
Right. Actually, you mentioned a good point of some weeks you run out of waste, other times you're a bit short. So have you reached a level now whereby you know the average consumption of each and every item? Therefore, if there's waste, it's very minimal, and if there's a shortage, it's minimal as well.
Yes. So right now we're sort of getting to that aspect where we're able to know what items to buy in bulk and what items not to buy in bulk based on, data over the last year and a half. We now know that on certain days, customers are most likely to order, and then on certain days that they're not likely to order. And based on all of that, we shop and we shop and serve customers.
Right. Earlier, before we started recording the interview, you mentioned to me how you actually have a physical location where some customers can come and see how you work, particularly how clean the place is. Now, as you expand, obviously that's something that's a really key factor, particularly in attracting premium customers, because they're very, very particular about what they eat. So in terms of the process of making sure that everything is packaged in a standard way, in a very clean way, what sort of systems have you put in place such that even when you're absent or not present on site, the people working there are able to maintain that high standard?
Well, we're very particular about hygiene and about quality, management. So obviously my staff know that, the people who are working within the kitchen, the person working within the kitchen always has her hair covered. Immediately she enters the kitchen, she has a hairnet, she wears the gloves, and we don't have, people like the riders when they come in to pick up products for customers don't necessarily walk into the kitchen, but are given the product over the counter. So we have all these sort of systems in place. And I trust my staff. I guess it's a trust factor that, irrespective of the fact that I'm not here, that the right things are being done. And, I'm the sort of person that I tend to, speak up whenever I see something that is completely, wrong. So when I see that certain things that I had trained them on are not being enforced, I speak up immediately and then they correct that. And then we also have like refreshers course. So there are different sort of mechanisms that we use to ensure that they're constantly on their game.
Right. Now, earlier at the beginning of the interview, you mentioned that you basically studied law and that's your profession, but then you started this business as well. So for anyone out there who's listening, who has a job that they studied and they're good at, but they maybe want to start something as well, how did you manage the balance? And maybe this spirals into another question of, are you actually still practicing law and running Britts Foods, or are you Britts Foods full time?
So for about a year I was Britts Foods full time, but now I'm actually back at work and I'm also running Britts Foods as well. So how I was able to transition my legal career actually helped. Background helped me initially when I had a lot of had to set up the company, so incorporating the company, drafting relevant documents, ensuring that with the taxes I was on point. So when I started it initially, there was stuff that people who don't have legal backgrounds would have to go get professional advice, but I was sort of my own advisor in that regard. So I wouldn't say I would say my legal career was actually very useful in actually starting a business. My advice to anyone who's thinking of, leaving their profession to do a business is just make sure they do enough research to really understand that there's a market out there, and not necessarily just, jump. You need to do the big primary work. You need to do initially I did a lot of market research. I did a lot of interviews, and I did all of that after I had left my former law firm. If I had done that whilst I was in my law firm, then I would have, probably taken a different strategy to what I initially did for Britts Foods. So it's important not to just take that jump, but take that jump with a cautious step.
And how did the name Britts Foods come about?
A lot of people actually ask me this because, you get Nigerians actually joking and saying British food. And it's honestly, it came, like, I don't even know where it came from. I think I would say it's God, because I just woke up one day and I was like, that's going to be a very fantastic name to have for a salad company. And it just popped in my head and I wrote it down on a post-it paper, and I incorporated the company the following week. I don't know any Brittany. I don't know anything. It just came from nowhere.
Right. I think that's how Google as well got their name. I think someone's child said something, and that's actually how Google, a really big brand, that's how they got their name. Nothing special, really.
Nothing, exactly. And I think people are always often disappointed when they see there's no story behind the name. But I think what's more important is the fact that you're actually pushing values, and pushing what's it called? Not sales, pushing adding value to people's lives through a company and not necessarily through the company's name.
I agree, because I don't think any of your loyal customers are enjoying what you're offering and saying, "Oh, I wish they would change the name. The food is good, but the name isn't." That doesn't.
Exactly. Over time, if you're doing what you're meant to be doing, it doesn't even matter if your name is Buhaha. just add value to some extent to people's lives.
Right. Now, having been in your business for quite a while, if you could go back in time and give yourself a piece of advice that you have learned through your experience, and this might also be applicable to anyone else who perhaps wants to venture into your particular industry. What have you learned along the way, from which perhaps you made a mistake that if you had a chance to tell yourself in time, you would caution yourself about?
One thing that I have always said that I know now that I didn't know before is that the staff you have in your business actually makes or breaks your business. In hindsight, I would definitely be slower to hire and be very quick to fire. So it's important that you have very good staff who understand the vision that you're trying to portray and who are not just there to get money off you, who actually go the extra mile and actually want to are passionate about your business actually growing, because you wouldn't always necessarily be the driving force. Sometimes you would have a down period where you just have a mental block and you're just exhausted because of the sheer emotional, financial, and every other pressure that's on you. And you just need a third party who isn't necessarily facing that to give you some ideas. And if the third parties that are in your business are people who are just in to just earn a salary and go home, then you would have nothing. So one thing I ought to have done earlier was, be very picky about who I brought into my business, and being very quick to fire once I spotted certain characteristics. But I think right now we have a very, very good team. I've learned a lot from that, and I'm now very, very slow to hire. I just don't hire anyone into my business. I look at character. I look at their willingness to work. I look at their work ethics. I look at, if they're naturally smart. I look at different things, and I see what the relationship is. And interviews now for me isn't just a question answer. It's more of a long-term process where I actually get to know the person as an individual beyond their degree.
No, that makes sense. And there's a guest I had earlier on, Tanya Reid from South Africa. She actually stressed that point as well, is that sometimes the people you bring in, actually not sometimes, all the time, they're what will either make or break you, because they are your business.
Exactly. So I mean,
Right.
you can't be everywhere all the time. So like as I said to you earlier, I had to this morning make a load of sandwiches to go deliver. As I'm going to deliver the sandwich, if the person here isn't motivated enough to open a store and prepare the stuff for the day, then I'll be customers might come in and they'll just say, oh, there's nothing for today. Meanwhile, we have a full load of fridge with products in there wishing to be sold. You should be very, very slow to hire people, and just focus on not necessarily what their degree is, but also if the person is genuinely a good person and actually really, really wants your business to grow. Because there's certain other skills that can be taught, but once the person is passionate about something, then they will come in at 5 o'clock if you need them to come in. They will come in, they'll stay till 9 p.m., 10 p.m. if you need them to stay in, because they see the business as more than just a cash making scheme.
Final question. If you were cast away to a desert island, what book would you take with you? What movie would you take with you? And what song would you take with you?
Whoa. That's a book. What book would I take with me? I think I would take in the last I was reading was on the last book I'm reading right now is I get very random books. I don't even know what the author's called, but it's How to Make Friends or something, and it's a very awkward name, but it's about emotional intelligence. So that I will take that right now because I'm actually enjoying that book right now. But I don't have a favorite book. I'm not really a novel person. I read more for work. And movie. Oh, I wouldn't say movie. I would say I'll take Friends series. I love it. It's my absolute best series in the world. Friends. I'll take that with me. Song. Mary J. Blige. This is very good. I really love her as an artist, but I love a lot of her songs. So I don't know. It's difficult.
Well, that's good enough for me. That will do. Today is actually a weekend, so thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. And can you just let the listeners know how they can learn more about Britts Foods, and particularly those in Nigeria, how they can get in touch with you and order some of your products?
So we're located at number 2 Victoria Arobieke Street, off Admiralty Way. It's the street right after Ebano Street. It's a grey mall, and it's opposite Standard Organization of Nigeria. And you can, if you don't want to come in, you can call us and we'll deliver to you on 0902 707 5810. Or 0802 797 2087. And we have a website as well, so you can order online if you don't want to talk to people, and your salad still will deliver to you. Our website is brittsfoods.com. So BRITTSFOODS.com.
Thank you once again, Belema, and we wish you the very, very best with Britts Foods.
Thank you very much, Daddy. It was very lovely to meet you. Please keep in touch. You can follow us on Instagram or Facebook.
Oh, what's your handle there?
On Instagram, it's Britts Foods. So it's just the name of the company. BRITTSFOODS. And you can see all our products for the day and the offers that we have on weekends and from time to time. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll definitely encourage all my Nigerian friends to check it out.
Thank you so much. Spread the word.
Thanks for listening to the Business Mike podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you'd like to listen to more episodes just like this one, simply go to businessmike.com. I would love to hear from you. So if you've got any questions or feedback, you can reach me on Twitter at Daudi Mugabe, on Facebook at Business Mike, or email. That's daudi@businessmike.com. Don't forget, we have a brand new episode every Monday. And until then, take care.